Hello, how are you? Really cool video today. We're going to be looking at taking a kick from a track you like and then implementing it into your own production. Now we're using one of my own tracks because obviously stealing is wrong, but we're going to have a look at how to do it anyway. So the first thing you need to do is find the track and then import it into your Ableton session. Now make sure that warp is off, okay, so you have the clear audio, you don't have any warping going on which can affect the sound. Now let's take a very quick listen to the track so we can kind of get an idea of the type of kick we've got in here. Okay, so it's quite a nice punchy kick, but it's also got a load of sort of meaty low end as well. So I want to steal this kick. Now, when we're going through this process, the first thing we want to think about is where are we going to get the best and cleanest kick. Now, likely on the drop, we're going to have a load of things going on. We're probably going to have synths, we might have vocals, we're going to have claps and hi-hats, and the audio is going to be very messy. So let's have a listen on this drop. So we've got kicks, claps, hi-hats, we've got sort of a mid-synth as well. So that's going to make it more difficult to take a kick from here. So the best place to look is the beginning or the end of the track. So let's have a look at the beginning. Now the problem here is that clearly this has been high passed. So if we took this kick, we're going to lose all of those low frequencies. Let's carry on listening. Now I've made this difficult to steal because the bass comes in when the high pass filter comes off, which means that we're getting kick and bass at the same time. Now you shouldn't take a kick when there is kick and bass playing at the same time, because you won't be able to get rid of those bass frequencies. So we need to find within here, and I heard one, we need to find within here where we can just hear a single kick playing without the bass. Okay, there it is. So let's have a listen. There's the kick just on its own. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a new MIDI channel and we're going to create a new audio channel as well. Okay, we're going to find that, and just for reference we're going to stick this into this audio channel just for now. I'm going to mute this. I'm going to open up my MIDI channel and I'm going to consolidate this. Okay, get it roughly right, doesn't need to be perfect. So we're going to right click and consolidate, or Control J, and then I'm going to drag this into the MIDI channel. Just drag and drop that there. Okay, the next thing we can do then is draw in some very standard kick MIDI. So I'm going to come to one shot to allow the whole sample to play. Now, if we were to use this in our track, that's going to sound rubbish. We've got way too much going on. We've got a hi-hat. We've got some other sounds underneath, some percussion. It's not going to work very, very well. So this is what we're going to do. The first thing is we're going to find the very, very start, the transient of this kick. So we're going to find the very, very beginning of it. So I think, let's move this a bit closer. So I think that sounds pretty good. We're right at the start of that kick. Now the next thing we're going to do is right click. We're going to group, and then we're going to come to our chains and we're going to create two more. We're going to right click and we're going to rename this transient sub. Okay, now this is great. We can play with the different volumes of these, but at the moment what we're getting is we're getting three kicks playing at the same time. Okay, so what we're going to do next is we're going to come and find our multiband dynamics tool. and we're going to put this on the transient. And what we're going to do is we're going to solo the high frequencies. Let's have a listen. Okay, so I can choose which frequency, so I can come all the way down to get the body in as well. But I don't want that, I just want the transient. So I'm going to come to about, using my ears, I think around there sounds good. Right, now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this. I'm going to paste it onto the body. Okay, just throw that in there. Paste that onto the body, and I'm going to solo the mids. And let's have a listen. Okay, and I can change the frequency here, how much I want to include. So this is starting from 938 Hertz and then going all the way down to 200, so getting in that punch. And then from there, we're starting to get some of the real sub frequencies. So I'm going to stick this around 120, I think. Yeah, that sounds about right. Cool, and then I'm going to copy this over again. Okay, and I'm going to paste it in here. So now this is on the sub channel, and I'm going to solo the lows. Let's have a listen to the lows. Okay, nice. So we've now got each different part of our kick. Now the transient, what I'm going to do, the transient is the shortest sound, so we're going to tighten that right up like this. Let's have a listen. So I don't want that white noisy sort of sound. I'm going to turn snap off as well. Okay, that's good for now. Let's listen to the body. So we can hear there's some sort of tone that kind of comes up after the main kick hit. So I'm going to get rid of that. Let's again take snap off, add a little bit of a fade out. Okay, it sounds pretty good. Let's listen together. Tighten that right up. And then let's introduce the sub. Now the sub we shouldn't have to do anything to, because we want all of that playing, and unless there's another low end bit of information coming in here, we can leave the sub as it is. So there we have it. We have a kick. Okay, so let's listen to what we had originally. That's what we had originally. Okay, and now this is what we've pulled out. Okay, let's tune it to taste. Okay, so I think the body can come right down. Can tighten that right up. Okay, that doesn't sound too bad at all. Now the next thing we can do is we can come and we can maybe adjust the volume of certain elements. Now remember, we're taking this kick from a track that's already been mastered, so you know, this is going to, it's not going to be a recreation of the exact kick sample used in the track, because obviously it's been mastered and processed, so the top end has probably been lifted and there's probably a load of EQ done on the low end, or at least some sort of low end compression. So it's going to be slightly different, so we can maybe have a little play with the volume. So I think that sounds a little bit punchier and the transient isn't as harsh. Okay, and then the last thing we could do is just add an EQ and just have a little look. Okay, so this is looking like a kick. So I'm actually going to give some 50 Hertz to this. Just to make it a little bit rounder. And there's something up here that's a little bit annoying. Okay, that's fine for now. So there you have it. You have stolen a kick from any track you like, and now you can use that in your own productions. And yeah, the best part about this, you can right click and then rename this. Okay, so you can use that in your own productions. And then yeah, the best part about this is, let's say we duplicate this track, let's freeze it and flatten it. Now we have the kick sample. This is what it looks like. This is what it looks like. Doesn't look too bad at all. And then we can just drag this into. Okay, so now we have our kick sample. Everything looks good. That looks like a kick sample to me. Yeah, so everything looks good. That looks like a kick sample to me. So what we can do is right click, go to show in browser. So here it is. We can rename this. So stolen kick. Okay, it's not going to let me rename it. So we can right click, we can rename this. Let's just call it kick for now. And then we can drag this into a folder here and save for later and use that whenever we like. So I hope that's helped, and yeah, you can go and experiment with this, and if there's a kick you particularly like, you now know how to acquire it. Cool.